Cool. All right, Joe, I'm going to flip for you because otherwise it's going to be a lot of air hockey here.
No problem. What do
So,
we got? What's up? Oh, lighting experiences. Oh, that's really great to read that. Okay, so for lighting experiences, it's a segue into. There's a lot of ways to cut this, but you've got quality of light. That's a big topic now. There's obviously design. There's the controls of the lighting. And then you get into the outdoor lighting, which I think a lot of our custom home builders may get involved with, but it's a really growing category. A lot of the system integrators are getting into outdoor lighting along with their outdoor audio. And lighting can provide safety and security benefits, comfort and ambiance, and then you really don't manage or you don't have a complete lighting experience if you're not managing the natural light, and that's typically done with shades. And there's some new windows out there that are blocking light with some different technologies. So, this isn't going to be a lighting or presentation. We do have one tomorrow for the luxury guys that go into more detail. But the quality of light, the color of light, giving choices, and then we get into the higher end light, which can actually tune the light, circadian rhythm, change the color and temperature of the light during the day. And then CRI, color rendering index, this is the quality of light, and it really, if you've seen demos with quality lighting, it really pulls colors out of artwork, finishes. If you have some really great textured walls, it can really make that pop. So those are some of the other sort of areas in lighting to pay attention to. And then design. Design is a process of designing in layers, and we're dealing with a variety of home builders here. But lighting is important. It's important from object, task, creating that ambient light, pathway lights. And good lighting design, especially if you're doing open houses at night, makes a huge difference. So I think those are ways in which you can differentiate and take more of a front seat approach to offering quality design in your lighting. And then, of course, control. Early days when you're talking about lighting control and folks would be a little less comfortable with wanting that technology, you would just say, hey, yeah, I know in the kitchen where you have 6, 7, 8 loads, you're going to have 6, 7, 8 light switches. And it sits in the back of the mind. Then you push this in front of them and say, I can consolidate that. And it's as an option or a standard, it really sells well. And you have the ability to have a much prettier, cleaner wall. And at some point, it's going to resonate with the homeowner that might be a nicer way to actually get the scenes. You have 8 loads, the designer picks a scene for you. Give me one button to press it instead of managing a bunch of different switches. And so you got the safety, security, and comfort and ambiance. So again, lighting can be about safety. It can help you get home at night or get into the house with a lighted pathway. You can have at-home lighting simulation that makes you look like you're home when you're not. And then comfort and ambiance should be obvious. And I really just took a couple basic approaches. For really anybody, custom or production builders, I think the peace of mind package is something that I would always include in your standard. And that's the outdoor lights and the pathway lights. You come home, the house is lit. You open the door, you have a pathway to the kitchen or the second floor landing, and it's just an easy way to get in. You got groceries, you got a baby in your arm, and call it the peace of mind package. Market this so you really can connect to it. And then it also opens the doors for the upgrades. Once you start with lighting, you're going to want to get it into that kitchen area where I've got multiple loads and I want to create those scenes. And then obviously the best is a whole home solution. On the convenience side, outdoor motion is great. Add the pathways, and on the best, consider getting that landscape lighting involved. And on the security safety side, same sort of thing, outdoor motion, integrating video doorbell and lighting, right? So at night, when someone comes up to that video doorbell, if you get a light to come on, now you're lighting the subject that is in front of the camera, much easier to see who they are. And then, at-home simulation, control that makes the lights come on and off, looks like someone's living there.
Hey, Joe, before we get the take from the builders, the circadian rhythm, the biorhythms tuned lighting, I mean, is that part of the package here, too?
Yeah, so I think it's the color would be like, give them a nice color option as a standard, a warm dim right effect where actually you don't change the color as you dim the light, it stays warm, could be the better. And then full circadian rhythm and color control would be the best there. And it's coming down in price. I mean, you've got the high end with a Ketra, and you've gotten some more entry-level products that are going to be coming online for production builders. So it's really going to be something that's across the gamut.
What do you think, Dan?
I mean, lighting is probably my number one thing that I've been most excited about. What it can do, how it can, demonstrate a home. But the funny thing is that, our sales offices, we're only open, 11 to 5, 11 to 6. So people aren't in our models in the times really when lighting is really being used and effective. Of course, that's one of the things with some of the shift now to touring on your schedule and coming in, after hours through some of the vendors that have been here. And,
right.
That obviously can be one way to really demonstrate what you can do with lighting in your home.
Self-guided tours.
The self-guided tours, because now you're in there at night and they can really get that experience of you walk up to the house and lights turn on and things that were dim are rising up.
That's a great point.
Come in and have the little placard that says hey, it's movie time, and these lights dim, and the home theater fires up.
It's kind of so obvious, but lighting is a category that's probably been undersold historically just based on the time of the appointments, right? So there's no reason for it other than that, right? Because you aren't really able to demonstrate the effects. So that's an interesting insight.
I think that also moving forward, are we going to ever see a shift away from some of the pretty finishes that have become so incredibly popular, and all the money that gets put into kitchens and baths? Well, if you can't afford all of those things, but you still want some really nice features in your home, some of the technology things and lighting can be one of those things. If it's like, I don't really care that my bathroom should be something out of Architectural Digest, but I can really make this house livable.
Yeah. Trevor, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on your point about the architectural lighting, and we're moving away from just task lighting, can lights everywhere. Now we're using so much more, rope lights, probably not the right word, but small, strip lights and things like that to light up the architectural features. I think it's really powerful to go into a house at nighttime when
Wall wash,
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
like that, beautiful artwork that's lit up well. Yeah.
Do we think that that's just a high-end thing, or is it going to come down into the mainstream?
I think it can get there. I think it's getting more into the mainstream, but I think some of us on the builder end, we have to start putting it in and showing it.
I think with a good design, you can get the fixture locations identified, and then you do have the flexibility of changing the fixture to have a spot, a flood, a wall wash, right? Aimable lights. So you have a little bit of, I'm going to put a piece of art here. I would like to get light on it, and you can address it.
It almost starts to become interior design for the middle market, right?
Yeah.
How do we start to democratize, that?
I guess the last thing, too, is also paying attention to shades. If you're in a room where it's obvious where the TV is going to go, and it's opposite a south-facing window, get some light, get something in there to block that light. It could be a manual shade, but if you think it's a step up and you want some automation there, you're going to turn your TV on, have that shade come down, and block that light.